quite frankly, CEOs, myself, we just have blind spots to that. We don't recognize when we run over people. Words as CEO have a lot of weight. They have so much gravity, and you just saying one little thing that may be just a little critical could be blown out of proportion.
An A player would never listen to a C player. Never.
No.
You would never bow down
That's
to
a
a
great
C
point.
player.
My dad would tell me that all the time. A's don't work for B's.
That's right.
I recognize right away I'm bad at operations and project management. I'm good at like external, I'm good at strategy, and I'm good at what I call it my 3 S's. Sales, strategy, and spirit. I'm good at spirit, like values.
That's your place.
That's where I'm going to be.
Okay.
Organization, and project management, and brass tacks, and we call it moving food around your plate. Like who's eating the whole meal? Who's just kind of moving? Like with your kids, right? Like, are you going to eat the veggies, or are you just going to chop the broccoli up in 20 pieces and move it around?
Move around, yep.
You start seeing that stuff real fast if the way that you set up your interactions with people.
Most CEOs and leaders, they struggle with making the vision plain. They have great ideas, but they're complex. I sat down in this episode with Nick, the CEO of SureOak. He breaks down how we can better lead and how we can communicate with clarity so that our team can execute on the vision, on the ideas, and take the enterprise forward. Awesome. Hey guys, what's going on? This is your boy Lasada Pippen, aka LP. Hey, welcome back to Say It Better, the seasonal sit down where I have friends, colleagues, and just awesome people to come in this intimate space with me. Today I have a great friend, I have a great human, a great person overall. He goes by the name of Nick. Nick is the owner of a digital marketing agency. I want to make sure I get this right. He's the owner of a digital marketing agency. He helped brands to get noticed by AI and Google. They service large brands such as SoFi, and they have 35 team members on 4 continents. Nick, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here, my brother.
Man, you have so much energy. I'm fired up. Let's go. The intro makes me want to run through a wall. Let's do this.
I know, man. Did I nail it?
You did, yeah.
Okay. All right, cool deal. So you said 35 team members.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
At least that sounds like a lot to me.
Yeah.
And you manage all of those 35 different personalities, people, humans, all of that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, we do. We manage all that. Do you want to get into the story, how that all kind of comes together?
I do.
Okay, that'd be cool.
I want to know the journey. Yeah, walk us through how did Nick get here today?
Yeah, so that's not a big team in my career, but when I bought this agency, over 2.5 years now.
Wow.
My background, I was a chief revenue officer in like the software world in Atlanta. So for 15 years, I've been selling, marketing software and all kinds of different scenarios, but I wanted to buy a marketing agency because talking to executives about how to grow revenue has always been my passion. Whether that was sales and marketing, and so buying this company, it was completely remote, and that was totally foreign to me. I've always had an office. I've always been able to go, hey, Lasada, just want to check in. How's the day going? Let's talk. Have a problem, we could spitball off of it. But like, I'm the only person. I own the company. I'm the only one in Atlanta. And so we probably have 10 team members in Serbia. We have 2 people in Kenya. We have 2 or 3 people in the Philippines, a person in Colombia. And the thing that was like the most important thing was when we're all starting to come together and we're trying like, hey, how are we going to do this work, was to align around vision. And I know this is something that you talk about a lot and how you help people communicate. But that was like, and it took probably a good 1.5 years to come up like, what is SureOak? What is it we do for our customers? And what is so important about us and how we treat each other? That was the biggest part. How are we going to treat each other and actually do this work? So that was the biggest thing for me, is like, hey, that is how 35 people come together and actually deliver one great service.
Wow, that is actually awesome. I never realized that you were the only one here.
I know, it's lonely.
I didn't realize that. Right? Like, wow, you and 35 people, you're the only one here. That's actually pretty awesome and pretty fascinating. Where's your person in Colombia? Shout out to Colombia, because my wife, Eliana,
she's in Bogota.
She's in Bogota.
Yeah, she's in Bogota.
She's from your home.
She's actually Venezuelan, and so while things were a little crazy there, she was moving her family to Bogota, and she's thrived there. She's awesome. So
yeah. Wow, that is actually pretty cool. Now you mentioned about aligning to this one vision, and you've managed to do that successfully. Seemed like you said it took you over 1.5 years to do that.
Yeah. So you read these books about like you read Traction, and you read a lot of like Good to Great, and you think like all these great companies have visions, and you're like, well, how do I find my vision? I tell everybody what my vision is, and I tell everybody what my values are, and they're
this
like,
is good,
and they're like, yeah, we'll try it out, and then you realize, well, that's not quite right, and that's not the product that we wanted to do, or that's not the way that I see the world. That's not how I treat my team members. And then you start to like understand over time, and this is when visions and values become the best, or what you call culture really becomes the best, is like when people start adopting it and they start bringing the culture to you. So like, I always call it commander's intent. Like, I'm the CEO, I'm the owner.
Like
there is a certain amount that, there's some things I want, and I'm 50 years old, so I feel like I've made enough mistakes. Like when you give me a value that's incorrect, I can at least, hey, I've tried that doesn't work. But like I can like have some general like guidance of what it should be. But when they start bringing new ideas and they start bubbling up from the groundswell of vision and values that come together, that is when the best. And there's a couple other things I recognized in that journey. I did this didn't take a year. This took 3 months. I recognized right away I'm bad at operations and project management. I'm good at like external, I'm good at strategy, and I'm good at what I call it my 3 S's. Sales, strategy, and spirit. I'm good at spirit, like values.
That's your place.
That's where I'm gonna be.
Okay, the 3
I'm
S's
really bad.
Okay,
Those are my 3 S's.
I love that. Okay, all right.
I need somebody that's really good on organization and project management and brass tacks, and that's where I brought Lauren in. So I recognized an operations person really early on. So while I can be a little bit more external, she can be my implementer. And so she really helped, like, okay, help this vision come together to get organized, help this culture come together. And like every quarter, let's review it. Are we on the right track? Are we doing the right things? Are we communicating? The other great thing, we say this in church a lot too, right? Leaders are repeaters.
That's right. Leaders are repeaters. That's absolutely right. Yeah. Leaders are repeaters.
Yeah. So once we keep saying these things over and over again, like what we say a lot at SureOak is people will forgive mistakes. They won't forgive not caring.
Hold on, Nick. Hold on now. Don't run past that one, because that's good. Run that back one more time. People will forgive mistakes. They will not forgive not caring.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, so that one's really powerful. So every time we have a client that leaves us, we do a look back.
Okay.
And if any of that comes out, we showed lack of passion, we showed lack of compassion, or anything that we just didn't care, y'all. Like, it's fine if we delivered and we did everything we said we were gonna do, but like if we showed up every time we showed up to add value in that meeting, they felt like we didn't care, or we made a mistake and we lost it, like that's unforgivable, and that will get you fired around here. But making a mistake but still caring, that will still, like, you're still fine here. And so like that sort of thing we kept repeating over and over again, and now like customer care, compassion, empathy is always at the forefront of everybody every time we talk with a customer, and like that's been really powerful. So,
wow. And so you just learned that through trial, just through error, through experience. Of figuring. So you lose a client and you all are trying to figure out, okay, why did we lose him? And you're saying that it can be directly related to not caring.
It's sometimes. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
But sometimes it was like, hey, they were just changing, they ran out of money, or they ran out of other things. But we always do a look back of like, why did we leave? And, fortunately for us, when we start, like we have this type of culture where you have to care, you have to show, a lot of passion about your job. 2 things happen. One, you get rid of people who aren't available. Like, you have to have the harder conversations. This isn't the place for you.
Okay.
But the other cool thing is, like, as you're going along, they're like, some great people, like, I know where you guys are going. I'm just going to opt out. I'm just going to get off this bus right here. This is, you guys are going a certain direction. I hate this. I hate the term, but like, I'm just working to live, not living to work, So like, I want this to be part of your, not a part of your identity, but I want you to really care about this place. I don't care if you don't really care so much about the work, but you got to care about the people and the clients on the other side of that, because if you don't love people, this isn't going to work. So that's the core value, that you love people. And and so, I forget where the original question was in that, but like,
this is great. Yeah.
Repeating that and getting that culture, like, I don't know, if you don't care, it's just never going to work out. But if you did care and it didn't work out, you did everything right, like, no one's going to beat you up over that here. And usually clients see that and they give us another chance to make things right if things don't work out. So
I love that look back tactic. How long does it take you to know, if you have an employee, how long does it take you to know this person is probably not going to work out, or this person doesn't really have the passion or care that we want in SureOak?
Yeah.
How quickly can you see that?
Well, it depends on your feedback mechanism, right? So another core value for us is feedback is a gift.
Okay. Yeah.
So after every meeting, or especially every client meeting or every internal meeting, we say, okay, let's rate the meeting. And you kind of tell at the end, like, if you take it, so it's a scale of 1 to 10, and if you give it a 9, you got to give one reason why you're criticizing the meeting, right? So because if we don't give feedback, we never get better. And if you give it a 10, that means the meeting was perfect. But you start to like understand, like when people start taking points off, you kind of start seeing who cares and who doesn't care around here. And so like who's moving that. and in these meetings where there's a set agenda and there's accountability, we call it moving food around your plate. Like who's eating the whole meal? Who's just kind of moving like, you know, with your kids, totally. Right? Like, are you going to eat the veggies, or are you just going to chop the broccoli up in 20 pieces and move it around? You start seeing that stuff real fast if the way that you set up your interactions with people. And so by the ratings, by the way people interact with each other, the accountability. Another value we have is your name's got to be on it. So that means like it's got a due date and it's got a name associated with it and it's got a number. And some people just, okay, you missed again. Was it because you didn't care? You don't know? If you don't care, I can't help you. But if you don't know, I can fix that.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So that's how we figured it out.
Yep. Question. You mentioned about you knew that you were a bad operator. Can you walk us through that? Because I know CEOs want to do everything because you're the CEO. Like, how did you acknowledge this is not something I'm good at and I need someone else to be my support team? Like,
yeah, that's a good question. I think I almost want to throw it back at both of you. Is like, do you know the things that give you energy and the things that take away energy?
Good. So the things that give you energy and the things that take away.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I know when I'm like in a project or I'm managing somebody, I get more angry, I get grumpy. When I'm like organizing somebody's work. Yeah. But if I'm talking to a client, we're talking about big ideas or solving a problem, I love it. I'm ready. I have more, and I'm ready to go work out after that meeting. But after I do, I don't know. Now I have to manage the actual project I designed or the thing I sold.
Oh, that's really good.
I get really grumpy, and I don't know who told me that, but I've noticed like pay real strong attention to your just your spirit or your energy after, like physical energy or mental energy after you actually do a task. I just noticed for me, it's like some of those one-on-one meetings with people, they needed it, they wanted it, but like it was very taxing on me. Like I don't enjoy talking about everything that happened in your day.
Well, see, you know, that's funny, Nick, because I have a very similar personality. We call it babysitting. I do not like to babysit. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
So we also have this thing to where if you identify a problem, you cannot talk about that problem unless you have 3 solutions to come along with it.
Yes, let's go. Preach.
Yeah, you can't just bring up the problem.
Yes.
And so for me, I don't enjoy babysitting. If I have to detail everything out for you, that drives me nuts.
Yes.
Because I like to cast a vision, but I also want people along with me to help me execute it. I don't want to cast, execute, and do everything that requires it. You know what I mean? And so that's good that you've observed and know where your blind spots are. And I think we kind of do that as well. So that's really good.
Yeah. And I think, at certain points where it's a privilege to be in the spot to like say what you want to do. And I paid my stripes. I had a lot of jobs where I was very, very grumpy.
That's right. Yeah.
But you have to learn what it makes you more empathic as a leader. But for me, I think I love that babysitting. I can't do this day-to-day stuff. All your individual task lists and punch lists. But if you want to talk about vision and let's go bend the universe, I'm into that conversation. I'm all in that conversation. Totally. That's fun. Or if you got a big problem, like, hey, let's solve it. That's where I'm pretty good. But who's going to do it, and we'll haul the organization and the write-up that needs to happen. Thankfully, I can pay somebody to do that.
Totally. Yeah. Totally.
Walk us through, how do you create strategy? How do you cast vision, and how do you execute it? Like, I've seen just strategy after strategy after strategy, no execution.
Yes.
Yeah, like how do you
Yeah, I mean, big organization, little organization, the best book written on strategy as it relates to execution is called Traction by Gino Wickman. It's the entrepreneur's operating system, right? And what I love about it is that it focuses on what you would call like decisions that have the highest impact. And what is blocking those decisions? So like if you have a goal, like I want to get from $5 million a year in revenue to $10 million a year, there probably are 3 or 4 really big blockers. There are 3 big things in your way. And I think when people start with strategy, they think the goal is the strategy. No, the strategy is how to remove those big blockers. And so when I'm starting to take down one thing at a time, so your big blocker might be things you don't want to deal with. It might be a person that is actually impeding. It might actually be an actual piece of technology. It might actually be a culture. It might be a number of things where I don't actually want to talk about this. So Steve Jobs talks about, not Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos talks about this. He talks about, well, he says a couple things, but he says organizations or people are bad truth seekers. We're social animals. You know, we grew. You know, hunter-gatherer societies. You know, the guy that said a lot of truth about, hey, we need to like do so and so. Sometimes they got killed.
Right. Yes. Totally. Yeah.
The person that went with the flow. That was the person. And so I think that's when these organizations, when you start talking about like, this is the real blocker. It might be an individual, or it might be an apathy in the company. It might actually be something that's actually wrong. Those are blockers, and those are the things that these strategies need to work through. And everybody needs to get around like that's the blocker, and that's what we need to solve. And then tactically, how do we do that? Well, we make big visions, but then we break those visions into what we call he calls them rocks, or the quarterly things, like, and they should go towards taking that blocker out. They should be solving that blocker. That blocker might be really, really big. It might take a year, but it's like, how do we move a mountain? One rock at a time. Right? And so that rock is these tactical things that somebody's going to do that have the highest impact. And so when we take out, and if we're working on these decisions, these things have not just like one-to-one. It's the difference between growing and scaling. So when I grow, 1 + 1 = 2, but 2 to the second power, and to the fourth exponential. So this is the kind of thing that we're looking for, types of decisions that we're actually going to have. Not just linear growth, scaled growth. So that's what we're really looking for. So if these are the kind of decisions that we can make, that we look for scale decisions versus growth decisions, that's where I feel like, and we can break them down into quarterly rocks or sprints, and everyone's assigned a thing or a task, and they have a due date, and there's accountability to it, and there's a measurable KPI to it. It's another great value lots of companies have. If you measure it, it will improve. That's what you focus on. So I don't know. Does that answer your question a little bit?
Oh my gosh,
Maybe.
Yeah, that is phenomenal. Just listening to that, I love. So you kind of reversed it from the guy who wrote Traction. He identifies the blockers.
Yes.
I've heard. I believe it was Dave Ramsey. He approaches it kind of the opposite way. He said, "What must be true?"
Oh yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So you've heard that one before too. So. It sounds like either approach will get you to the same destination.
Yes.
You either identify the blockers, deal with the blockers, and then you can go from 5 million to 10 million if that's the goal.
Yeah.
Or you say what must be true and then implement what must be true in order to also get that same level of growth.
Right. And I love the what must be true, because it goes back to that Jeff Bezos comment of like, we have to all agree on what is truth. And so we're going to have a scoreboard. If we're going to measure, like in my industry, SEO or GEO, whatever we're calling it, right? That's funny. I don't even know what my industry is called anymore.
Even AEO.
Yeah, AEO.
All of that.
But it used to be the metric that we always looked at was impressions. Like how many website visits did I get?
Impressions, okay.
Yeah, but now everyone's on AI. It doesn't really matter if my brand is represented on my website. So if you learn about me from ChatGPT or on my website, it doesn't matter to me. So my KPI doesn't really mean much anymore.
Right.
So I want you to come to my website. But if you know everything that you needed to know about me from ChatGPT, your robot buddy who knows you and is very smart, and it says, hey, I'm recommending SureOak to you, Lasada, and this is why. You don't really need to see their website. Here's their sales guy, go talk to him. That's okay with me. But if I'm running my whole business based on to maximize impressions, that's not truth anymore. It's a wrong KPI. Is impressions like truth anymore? If that must be true, well, it's not.
Right.
If total brand impressions across website visits and mentions on AI or all these other places, if that is the actual metric, well, now we're actually getting to a closer version of truth.
That's right.
But truth gets harder as these technologies and things advance.
Wow. I know.
Yeah, where do you want to go with that?
It's like, right. It's like, it's amazing.
So,
I guess let me just go here then. How has AI changed consumer behavior then? Since we are in that vein, what have you seen in terms of the shift of consumer behavior?
well, you've changed, right?
Yeah, of course.
You've changed now that we have. Isn't that the funniest thing? How technology changes us just as much as the technology changes in general.
So it's both.
Well, yeah. So like when the internet happened, I mean, that was just interesting too. So that was a massive sea change in marketing because all of a sudden now we could actually track website visits and we had these things called search engine result pages, search engines, and that totally changed consumer behavior. And we had brands like Amazon become way bigger, actually close down malls and brick and mortar stores. It's because I don't need to go to, I mean, Best Buy still is actually hanging around, but it wasn't like it was, right?
That's true.
Yeah, right? It's not like it was.
Yeah,
I can buy all my electronics wherever on Amazon. So that was a big change. And so now with AI, and I think what people where this is going, this is really interesting. Now I have this robot buddy. So I think about like if you were gonna go buy a lawnmower, Lasada, you got a beautiful yard. I walked up. So if you're gonna go buy a lawnmower, what's the first thing you do? You probably go to your friend or neighbors, like, what lawnmower did you buy? Did you like the Toro? Did you buy a John Deere? Did you buy whatever? And he recommends something to you because you trust that your neighbor. He knows a lot.
Right, yep.
But we have a new neighbor that moved in that's probably smarter than Einstein and Newton combined.
All combined, yes.
Yeah, and his name's ChatGPT or Gemini.
Yep.
And Gemini just released this thing where it's actually letting you connect your calendar and your email and all your YouTube history. And so now it knows me better than my wife. Okay, so.
Which is scary.
Which is super scary.
To a degree, that's kind of scary.
So if I just type in the word pizza, it could mean a million different things. It could mean delivery, it could mean delivery. It could mean I'm interested in pizza stories or pizza dough recipes. But everything it knows about me is like, oh, I know you like that Antico pizza where it's like it's got the burnt crust and melody style. I'm gonna give you that result because everything I know about you, Nick.
That's what they're gonna put in front of you.
That's what they're gonna serve up right. So it's like this perfect search intent, and I love it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I do kind of enjoy the custom personalization as well.
Yes.
Like, it's almost kind of like, thank you, AI, for getting to know me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? In this weird way.
It's scary how much information I gave up to it.
Of course.
Yeah, I just call it, click a button, take all my personal data.
Yeah. Do you know why we trust that so easily? Because that's really what it is. We just trust that. Let me share with this robot or whatever this large language model, LLM, whatever it is. Let me share with them. And I think we do it pretty easily.
Yeah, that's nothing new at all. I mean, that's another part where this conversation. So not only have we changed, but in technology in general from Facebook, even when Facebook started, we've just been giving up more and more information because of the value that we perceive that we get back. So I want to be part of a social network. I want to see what my family's doing. I'll let you show me customized ads. I'll be a part of this Facebook group and I'll see specialized ads there. And they'll take my information and it'll, why is Facebook free? It's not free.
It's costing you something.
It's costing you something.
They're
making a lot of money.
Of course, absolutely.
They're making a ton of money on your data.
Yeah, that's right.
The same thing are happening with these large language models, AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, all of those. So I don't know why we just give it up like the way we do, but this sure is making life a lot easier. So yes, the technology is changing, it's making us faster, but the way that we buy in my world in marketing, the way that people buy now is very interesting because I don't go right to a website. If I hear about a brand, I'll ask ChatGPT or Gemini first, tell me about this brand, tell me what I know about them. If I'm looking for like a new protein powder to put into is it safe? What are the reviews? Compare it against these 3 other protein powders I heard about. Tell me about the founder. Okay, what's their history? Okay, so now even before I'm making a stupid $30 purchase, I've gotten this whole readout and conversation that maybe took me 30 minutes just about this one protein powder that I'm considering.
That's right. And then you make a decision.
And then I'll make a decision.
Wow.
And so if brands aren't doing that, so that's where my job comes in. Like, hey, let's help educate the LLMs about your brand and do it in a way that establishes authority for you. But on the other end, like, this is the way people buy now.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
so you can say all these things on your website. If LLM isn't consuming that and reporting it back, let's say you got a great, beautiful website, but all your customer reviews are 1 star. LA, ChatGPT, should I buy this protein powder? No.
Instantly.
Instantly, no.
Yeah.
Go this one that has 4.5 stars.
Yeah. And they'll give you all the reasons to avoid this 1-star reviewed company, and then they're going to send them somewhere else.
Yeah. So as a consumer, I love that because it's looking out for me. It's like my neighbor next door, like, oh, you'll take it easy on the John Deere. I heard that one at a recall.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
And it knows everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really what's changing. And that's what we're communicating. So even like bringing it back to communication and educating like the boardroom and the chief marketing officer and her peers within the organization, that's, how do we communicate what's changing in consumer behavior? Because like, there's a lot for us to consider.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Let me backtrack to the employee that's not going to be on the long journey with SureOak.
Okay. Yeah.
How do you have that conversation? What does the communication sound like? How is it delivered when you have to part ways with somebody? Because it's a tough conversation.
Yes. So the conversation, the tough conversation when I'm asking you to leave is 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
It didn't work out. I'm sorry.
It's straight, just like that.
Yeah, but that's a horrible thing to do. This sounds horrible. But there's 3 or 4 conversations before that are the most important.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So it's like your coach, right? Like you're not just cut from the team, Lasada. Like, I need you to do the box out. I need you to I actually need you to show up to the voluntary, camps. I need you to actually lead by example. I need you to stop swearing every time you say. I need you to show a good attitude.
That's right.
Fix your face. Have a good attitude. Lead the team. So exactly the same way in corporate. If somebody's is on the unhappy path to being selected out of the team, being voted off the island, if I'm a good coach, then there will be multiple opportunities for them to rate the meeting or even on our one-on-ones to actually give them real feedback, guidance. So we always ask people, rate yourself and give us a couple things you need to work on. Okay. And then we try to praise them, we try to lift them up, but we try to give them real things that need to work on. We call them 6x6s.
6x6s, okay.
6 weeks, 6 things that you need to work on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So hold on. So they have 6 weeks to work on these 6 things.
Yes.
Wow. 6 things. I'm wondering if somebody gave me 6 things, how would I receive that?
Well, remember, you weren't doing so hot, Lasada. So
it sounds like a lot. Is it ever less than 6?
It can be.
Okay, got it. Okay.
But there's 6 things that you could be doing. It might be attitudinal, it might be just the way that you present at meetings. It may not be like actual tasks, like six 100-word essays by the end of the week. It'd be like literally 1 thing I need you to work on is your presence on meetings.
True.
I want you to have an agenda every client meeting. There's just things that we've been asking you to do, but like we're gonna remind you in this moment. They're not PIPs or personnel, improvement plans or anything like that, but like we want to do 6x6s for everybody in a perfect world so we can get them moving along. Another thing that we do behind the scenes that no one sees is that we have a people analyzer, and this is from that book Traction, which is really good too. There's 3 key things in like, do they get it? Do they want it? And are they in the right seat? So if you're in the wrong seat and we think you're a great person, we'll get you a new job. We'll move you to a different department. But if you don't have that passion, you don't want it, well, there's not a lot I can do for you. So we're going to start this process a lot earlier to get you out of here. And so get it. Oh, and do you get it? Are you just technically, qualified for the job? Do you understand? Are you like, okay, cool. Well, then there's like, if you're not, then some things we need to teach you if we're going to keep you in this job. So we rate them on those 3 things, scale of 1 to 10, and then we rate them on our values, which are usually around people, teamwork, passion, and just technically, capable to do the job. But they're around like a lot of those things. Do you understand? Do you give feedback? Do you give feedback well? Do you take feedback? Do you work with people well? Do you a good team member? Are you passionate about your clients? Are you showing empathy, compassion, and are you showing a lot of passion for their business as well? So we rate them on those things as well. So
I love that. Yeah, I have this saying that I have when it comes to hiring people, and I learned a portion of this from Eliana as well. Number 1 is that you want to position people properly.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, position people
Got
properly.
was that alliteration?
Yeah. So that's one of those
love it.
fancy type of things. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you want to position people properly, because if you have a great person that's out of position, they're gonna seem like a bad fit for the company. They're just not positioned properly.
Yeah.
So you need to position people properly. That's number one. Number two is that you never hire the resume. Don't hire the resume. You hire the person, not the resume.
Yeah.
Because I think about it in the speaking world, and I've heard this so many times. The demo reel, the highlight reel, right?
Yeah.
That's your movie trailer in the speaker world. It's one of the most valuable assets that you can have. I've heard so many times to where people that hire speakers to where the demo reel outperform the actual person. And I tell speakers, I was like, hey, your demo reel cannot outperform you. Yeah. It can't be better than you actually are. Right. Because anybody can put together a great resume. Anybody can put together a great demo reel.
Yeah.
You can find some great clips and, piece it together and make it look phenomenal. But that's why you don't hire the resume. You hire the person. You know what I mean? So I learned that from Eliana, and then you got to position people properly.
I love that. But every time I meet your husband, I've seen all your demo reels, right? But every time I see him, I get the hug. I like that, feel the energy. I know you're better than your demo reel.
Yes,
I feel
take
the demo
pride in that.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're living it.
Question on what you said. We talk a lot about these like A players, C players, B players. As a CEO, like how do you balance that? Like having within all the employees that you have, do you expect all A to be A? Do you keep B's? Do you get rid of C's? Are C's allowed in your organization?
Yeah, so C's are not allowed in my organization.
I love it. Yes, thank you, Nick. Yes, thank you.
Why? Tell us why as well.
Well, so like our 3-year vision, we call it 3 peaks, right? And one of the peaks that we're trying to climb.
I love all these little things you all have.
I know, right?
The 6x6s and I love all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
I know, and the people get sick of it. They call it Nickisms around the company, right?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
here we go.
Yeah. Okay, so you said the 3 peaks?
Yeah, we call it 3 peaks.
Okay.
And so like the 3 mountaintops that we want to climb in 3 years, and one of them is winners everywhere. So when I look around my organization, there are winners everywhere. And what is a winner? That's the real key thing. And that's the part that we're trying to, we got 3 years to do it. We just set this vision, but one of the things it should be hard to get in here. Like, if you're desperate for people, that's not a good place to be, right? Like, that means you've designed the job wrong. Yes, if it's something a contractor can do, give it to a contractor, but try to find great contractors. But if someone's going to be a part of your organization, working 40 hours a week at least, it should be hard to get in here. So there should be a certain hurdle to get in here. Yeah. The other thing is they should have some upward mobility. We like to say people should have a lot of runway, a lot of growing to do. And my job as an organization is to give them skills and training and growth, because everybody wants to grow. Everybody should feel like they're contributing. If they're not contributing, then the job's designed wrong and your organization is not that great. So if you got a great job and you're giving them, something that's aspirational, they should stick around a while. And then again, to your last point, if you got your people analyzer, do they get it, want it, the right seat? Are they matching your values? And you have a number at the end of the day. It's like, if somebody's very low on that matrix, well, one, they're probably just going to self-select out. They almost always quit. I can always tell, because we're putting so much pressure on them. Like, come on, this is the standard. This is the standard. And they're all like, wow, it's late. It's like, they kind of opt out of the whole, the whole. They don't want to be in the game. That's so fine. And every now and then we have to have one of those hard 5-minute conversations. This is no surprise to you, but it's over. So, and they're like, they don't even say anything. Like, I know you tried.
Because they know, right?
They know. Like, you gave me the feedback. I knew this was coming. So.
Yeah. How often do you do this 6x6 thing? Is this continuous all through the year?
No, it depends on the person if they need it. So we try not to do a one size fits all. And remember, I'm bad at these. You don't want me doing your 6x6.
Who's doing this?
So Lauren, my COO, Lauren, who's great, or then your direct report might be doing it. And some people are super self-sufficient. I love my job. I love being here. Maybe there's a step up for me, but I don't really, I don't want to talk to clients. I love just doing this back end stuff. And that's an A player for me, because they're in the right seat. They want it. They get it. And that's totally fine for me. They're happy. I'm happy. So I just want to make sure that's fine. So sometimes some people I love Coach Wooden, UCLA.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
He was very on the record. Like, I treated Lou Alcindor's very differently than I treated all the rest of the players, right?
Sure. Yeah.
It's like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he gets very different treatment than the rest of you all, right? And so he treated every player different. He was open about it.
Yeah, but I think that's actually true. I mean, even as hold on, let me think about this, because I was going to say even as a parent, I don't think you treat your kids differently in terms of level of love.
Oh, but there you go. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
That's an important point you just made. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think that you can understand what's required or needed for each one of those different personalities.
Yes.
Like, for example, when you have an A player in your company, you don't have to be as hard on them, but a lot of times you are, because their standard is so high, right? And so when an A player drops the ball, it's different than when a C player drops the ball. If a C player drops the ball, that's almost expected. You almost kind of can anticipate, this is going to be a drop the ball here.
Yes.
When an A player does it, it's almost kind of like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
Because they are so great that you just look at them and you treat them differently.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah, I think, you made a really important distinction. Treating them differently does not mean different justice, different benefit, different love, and that does not mean that all of that should be equal. But like my son, he's much more introspective, and we'll talk things out.
That's right. Yep.
My youngest daughter's got a little sharper elbows.
There you go.
Like, just tell me what I need to do.
Right.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need all the sappy small talk. I think a lot of it is the same. I heard a funny story. Coach Vrabel, the Patriots, right?
Okay,
so he played with Tom Brady.
Are you watching that? You watching
heck
okay.
yeah, dude.
All right, got okay.
But I love this is one of the funniest stories. I forget where I was seeing. I think it was on Julian Edelman's podcast, but he was talking about how Vrabel would motivate Tom Brady, Hall of Fame, greatest quarterback of all time, right?
Yep.
But he would pretend, so they were getting ready to play the Steelers, and Vrabel, who's a linebacker, would play the Troy Polamalu position, the strong safety. You know Troy Polamalu's Hall of Fame.
Yes, I love him. All the hair dangling around.
Yeah.
Phenomenal guy.
And so he would line up in all these weird places, and he'd be like, and Tom's like at the snap, he goes, Vrabel, Troy never would do that. He goes, yeah, he does. He's a Hall of Famer. He's going to be lined up here on the slot. He's going to drop back, and he's going to pick you off, Tommy. And Tom would get so mad at him, right? Just to get him. And then he would pick him off in the end zone. He'd come up, and he'd spike it right by Tom Brady in the practice. And I was just like, even the Hall of Famer, even the A player needs somebody like just to get under his skin and motivate him a little bit. Who knew what it'd take? And not that many people could probably talk to Tom that way. Probably if anybody.
That's true. Yeah, and I think Vrabel was solid enough to be able to say those things to Brady.
Oh yeah, because
he was a good enough player.
He was going to do his.
That's right. Yep. That's right. Yep. He was going to hold his own, and so you can come at the A player when you are leveled up yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because an A player would never listen to a C player. Never. You would never bow down to a C player.
My dad would tell me that all the time. A's don't work for B's.
That's right. Never.
A's don't work for B's. Yeah. And they certainly won't listen to them. So
Yep.
Question there.
Yep. That's absolutely right.
So as a CEO, how do you overcome the barrier where your role is intimidating to your reports, where they?
Oh, that's such a good question.
Yeah, I see that a lot with CEOs. Like, I want to go talk to him, but it's like, he's the CEO. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
How do you manage that? How do you know?
You have to be super. Okay, so this is something I've had to learn, right? But your words as CEO have a lot of weight. They have so much gravity, and you just saying one little thing that may be just a little critical could be blown out of proportion. And one thing that I do a lot is I love to brainstorm and talk out loud. And so, I thought this would be a good idea. I thought we'd try that. And then the next week, there's like some write-up and some plan already going on this one thing that I just thought was like, I just wanted just to throw that out there.
You didn't want to move it forward.
No, I didn't expect this to move to the next senior leadership team weekly meeting and start executing on this. I didn't want that. And so you have to be very careful. So a couple things. If you're in the meeting, you always speak in rank of seniority. So your most junior person should speak first, because you don't want to tip your hand where you are on an issue, right? So if you could have the most junior people speak first. The other thing is I don't lead my own meetings. So I don't lead the senior leadership team meeting. I have like Lauren will do it, or we try to rotate people leading the meeting. And the agenda is the agenda. If there's a big issue where I don't want any input on, which is super rare, I will go ahead and say that. But if I speak first on that issue, because we always have an issue board, and that's the most important part that we get through is like top issues for the week. if I speak right first on those issues, it will tip my hand and I may not get the best result. And
you want to hear them out first. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes total sense. So,
but to your point, I mean, that is such a hard one. And quite frankly, CEOs, myself, we just have blind spots to that. We don't recognize when we run over people because they won't tell us. We won't tell us.
That's true. Yeah.
So you have to push for feedback. You have to push for. So if you're asking, this has been another hard thing. I ask for feedback on all my meetings to rate the meeting scale of 1 to 10, but all the meetings below me, they need to do the same thing. And somehow we get that feedback loop coming back up at some point. We're like, okay, we're having level 7 meetings all the way at this level of the organization. We need to fix that. It might be something I did wrong. So
what's the feedback like? Give me some numbers on the feedback for your meetings. Mm-hmm. Are they giving you, are you perceiving that you're getting honest feedback because it is your meeting, you are the CEO?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if could they tell you, hey, this was a 7, man, like this was a 6, or are they always giving you the 5 stars?
So I always rate last. And if I can tell there's, everyone's getting 10s.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is a great meeting, no question. But like I noticed for the first 6 months when we started doing it, everyone was giving 10s. I was like, okay, I give it a 7. And these are my 3 things I would fix. And it was nothing, it was never a personal attack, whatever. It was like, no, there needs to be a stronger agenda. We went on a tangent when we talked about this. We talked about some things that should have been handled in a different meeting instead of this one. That's my feedback. And then we started getting, and then you'll notice that, okay, not only does the meeting get better and self-corrects the next time, but people get a little harder rating on the meeting as it goes forward. So, but I don't fuss too much if the meeting's a 10, if I definitely agree with it.
Right,
but I don't, the junior person rates first, the most senior person rates last.
Are they anonymous?
No.
Oh, okay, so you can see who's rated what.
My meeting should be a food fight. My meeting should be a food fight because if there's no honesty, we're not getting anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
So I feel like sometimes, and if you have a B or a C player, no one will be honest on your meeting. If they feel like there's somebody who's not pulling their weight, they will pull punches because they don't want to speak around somebody who's not good. So it's very important you have A players on your senior leadership team, and they're talking honestly, openly, and they feel trusted. Because sometimes if there's C players, there's not trust. I don't think this will get done, and I'm not so sure what I say in this meeting stays in this meeting if that person goes out the door and maybe starts causing ripples throughout the organization. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you just those C players are just hard to trust. I mean, they're just hard to deal with, honestly. Like, period, they really are. And so they can cripple an organization.
And who's to say they can't be an A player somewhere else? They're just
again, so position people properly, right? So maybe they're just out of position. Yeah, that's probably a healthy way to kind of look at that.
Yeah. Anyway, but you're doing them a favor for sure by asking them to move on. So
that's true.
It's hurting. Not only hurts them, but it just hurts the team, and it hurts so many things. But they should be flourishing. You shouldn't be here if you're not flourishing. So
that's true. Yeah, you've heard this before, Nick, because we've talked about this before. Write the vision, make it plain.
Yeah,
and we talked about those runners last time, right? I love that word. I think you came up with that word. Those runners. I love that.
I thought it was you. It
might have been, but I think you brought it to life, though. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Habakkuk. Yeah. But write the vision, make it plain. I think writing the vision is probably the easy part. I believe I'm seeing making it plain as the difficult part.
Yep.
How do you make it plain?
Well, I think I make it plain like a lot of what you do, like all the 6x6s.
Okay, the ABC. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That's the way my simple brain works.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough not to make it simple. Is what I like to tell people.
Yeah.
So like I kind of have to. And plus, I think so many in my industry, they're talking at such a technical level. You're missing the I guess there's two things, right? We always want to say what we do. Mm-hmm. I think it's so important I tell you what I do. Mm-hmm. You don't care. I'm not thinking of the who I'm speaking to or the why. So we always forget like the who and the why layer of these conversations. And so when we're talking about complex things or visions, well, who's it for? It's for this whole organization, and they got to be able to remember it, and they have to be able to remember the most. You told this to me. What is the one thing I want them to remember?
Yep, that one big idea.
When they come out of this meeting, well, what is the one thing when they hear the statement? What is the one thing that they associate with it? Because they're not going to remember a 5-page vision plan.
They won't. No.
No. But they'll remember the 3 peaks and winners everywhere. Like, you got it. hire good people.
I can capture that.
Yeah,
easily.
Everyone gets around working with great people. Everyone gets around, trying to edge out C players, right? And making sure that we protect people from cancerous personalities.
That's true. Yeah,
so I don't know if that answers your question, but I think frameworks are the most important thing.
Frameworks, Nickisms.
Good old Southern thing, Jello on a hot plate, overcook the grits. We say a lot of things like that.
Totally.
That's the one thing we always say. If it's too complicated, we say, I think we overcooked the grits on this one.
Yeah. So. I love that. Yeah. You were just talking about knowing that why and so forth. I remember when we first started speaking, my whole thing was find your why, discover your how.
Yeah, okay.
That was my whole niche. That was my whole brand, you know what I mean? And so I used to have this saying, when you know why, what you do becomes more powerful and how you do it becomes easier. So you have to get people to understand, what is your why? There's a global why, but then I think there's also a personal why.
Yeah.
And they sort of have to align with each other or fit with each other. Because if they're out of alignment, then people start losing the power of what they are doing. And the how just becomes confusing.
Yeah.
And so just thinking about all of that, how we're writing the vision, we're making it plain so that the runners can run with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what it's really about at the end of the day is, can your people, your team, execute on the vision that you've already established?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having great people, I think, can do that.
Yeah,
easily.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think what we do, SEO, like technically schema markup, keywords, writing blogs, none of that's changing people's lives.
That's true, right?
Right?
Yeah, yep.
But the work can be very interesting, and the people that we do it around can be very interesting. And so sometimes the why is a lot about the community that you're building and just making the work interesting. And so I think we try to make the mundane more miraculous than it is, but we try to create really fair workplaces. We try to create, we try to work with clients that have problems that are interesting to solve. And so sometimes these...
I like that, yeah.
If you know who you are, you know what to do. It's something totally. we say that a lot, but same thing, if we know the why, it doesn't have to be remarkable by any means, but it does need to be important, and it needs to be important to you if you want to stay. And if it, totally fine if this isn't your thing here. There are plenty of places where you can go follow your why.
I love that.
I think people need to understand. But we do, our why is passionate about our customers' business and the community that we're building here. Those are really our two whys.
So let me ask you this, because I was talking to someone else about this also, and I just want to get your perspective on this and what do you think. You emphasize passion a lot. You have to have this passion. You have to care, and so forth. Where does talent rank for you? And the person I was talking to mentioned how talent is not always as high as we think it is. And that person mentioned how you need the passion and you need the discipline. Where would you rank talent? Just from hearing that and just thinking about your world.
Yeah.
How do you rank talent? Is talent more valuable than what we're perceiving it to be, or is it as low as we think it is, or where do you put the talent piece?
That's really hard because talent's like intelligence. There's more than one way to be smart.
Okay.
There's more than one way to be talented, right? In the word,
you
might be talented with people, you might be talented with math, you might be talented in all these different things, and so there is a baseline of just technical understanding that we need our people to have. But I think what you're getting at, which I definitely think I agree with, is that there certainly is an amount of caring and passion for the other side of, because we're a service business. So if there isn't passion for the people on the other side of this who are receiving the service with gratitude, it just doesn't work out. So I've unfortunately had to let people out. I was so excited how talented they were who didn't fit the culture.
Wow.
And they had passion, but sometimes the passion was maybe misdirected, or maybe that passion turned into ego or pride. So passion has to be directed and by any means, because I don't know. I mean, there is talent. You see a lot of talented people, but maybe their passion comes with a bag of pride that isn't what you want. It's I'm so talented. Why don't you recognize me and everything that I'm doing here?
True.
And sometimes that doesn't go with maybe passion for people and team. So I think it's a nuanced conversation. I agree with you, but I think there's a nuance to like.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. You just got to consider it.
I can see that. Yeah. Talking about ego, I heard somebody say this before, and I loved it. It's stuck with me ever since. Is that ego stands for edging God out.
Ooh,
I thought that was so good.
That's like a kick to the stomach.
I know, right? Ego stands
as a believer, as a Jesus follower, that is 100% true.
Yeah, you're edging God out, and you turn the cameras around on you. Mm-hmm. You make it self-centered. It's not about the people anymore. You're not serving. You're not giving. And you've heard this before too. It's better to give than it is to receive. Mm-hmm. And when you're in the service business, as you all are, giving is everything. Mm-hmm. For you are you giving great service?
Yeah.
Are you giving great care?
Yes.
Are you giving great passion? It's about the giving, it's not really about the receiving.
Right.
And so I thought that was phenomenal that you are edging God out when you have an ego.
Right. I think it just comes from a place of gratitude too. I mean, I think, we work with SoFi, we work with Mayflower Moving, we work with like some really big brands, ABM, which is a big public company in New York, but a big location in Atlanta. Like, we have to have so much gratitude that these people are trusting us with their time, their resources, their strategy, because they could have gone with 50,000 other marketing agencies. And so sometimes that passion that we're talking about, it needs to be directed back at the customer in the form of empathy, gratitude, optimism, wanting to help, problem solving. I think what you said is, it's very, very important.
Totally, yeah. Have you seen any... Let's talk about challenges just for a moment here. Can you point to anything that you can say has been the most problematic within running a company, being the CEO, being the owner? Is it communication? Is it leadership? Is it lack of skill? What has been the primary challenge within an organization that you've seen?
Yeah, I would love your view on this too. But the only things that keep me up at night, that make me lose sleep, are people issues.
Really?
Are people issues. Whether it's a client issue, like whether or not, but even if it's a client issue, there's usually somebody on my team that is bearing the brunt of that, either wrongly or rightly. And so that's what keeps me up at night, is like how do we correct them? How do we help them? How do we get out of the situation? Because there is some kind of like dynamic where there's misunderstanding or there's inequity on just, was that fair that we should have, bore the brunt, or there was a change of leadership on the client side. Now my team's getting beat up. So all these interdynamics and personal things, the technical delivery of services, the financials, the blocking and tackling of human resources, the legalese, the contract, none of that stuff bothers me anymore. You can learn that.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, you go to business school, you learn it, but you think that's business, and it's not. Business is, being a CEO, leadership is the activation of your people to actually grow and do more than you did yesterday.
Wow.
So,
yeah. I love that.
So that's the stuff that the biggest challenges for me. And maybe that was surprising to me walking into this, but like after managing teams of 30, 40 people, it wasn't like how to do a contract or how to build a product or how to implement a new service. It was always like, wow, this person's really unhappy and mad at me, or but that's the stuff that keeps you upset.
Wow. Yeah. This is awesome, man.
Yeah, we hit a lot.
I know. Like we've danced a great dance.
Let's go.
Yeah, I love this. Yeah. So
it's good.
Do you have anything you want to share? Anything else? This was awesome.
No, I'm grateful. I love doing this, and I love being a part of y'all's family and your business, and anything I do to help.
Yeah.
It's so fun. So fun. So
yeah. Well, this is the Say It Better seasonal sit down. I just finished a great conversation with my friend Nick. So grateful for your presence, for you being here, and the wisdom, the insights. I've learned so much just in this however long we went.
So grateful. It was fun.
Thank you for being here, brother.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful place. You got a great business, a great thing going on here. I love it.
So thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Much blessing and love to you, brother.
Absolutely appreciate it, man.